If you're buying new construction in Jacksonville, St. Johns County, anywhere in Northeast Florida, this video is going to save you money, possibly a lot of it. I'm Austin. I'm a real estate agent here in Jacksonville, and I specialize in new construction. I've walked buyers through this process for years and years. I've personally bought 5 new construction homes myself, and I can tell you with confidence, most of them were surprised by at least one of the costs I'm going to talk about and walk you through. Many of them were surprised by several of these. Builders are great at marketing. They're not always great at full disclosure. And the lenders, the inspectors, the HOA documents, none of them are going to sit you down and protect you from what you don't know. That's what this video is. 10 hidden costs of buying new construction that you need to know before you sign anything. Closing costs, fees, inspections, taxes, maintenance, the real numbers, and my honest take on all of it. Let's get into it. So, your builder just offered to pay $10,000 towards your closing costs, and I know what you're thinking. That's so incredible. That's so generous. That's why I'm buying new construction. Well, stop for just a second and let me show you what's actually happening. See, in Florida, when you buy a resale home, closing costs are typically split anyways between the buyer and the seller. That's the norm. That's just how it works. So as a buyer, let's just say your share might be around $5,000. Well, new construction builders throw that all out the window, and every single closing cost lands on you, the buyer. Now, so instead of $5,000, let's say you're looking at $10,000 or more just to get to the closing table. And then this is the part that gets me a little bit. They look you in the eye and they say, we're going to give you $10,000 towards closing costs, like they're doing you a favor. But really, they kind of dug the hole, put you in there, and then gave you a ladder and called it a gift. So compared to a resale, that $10,000 incentive might only be saving you $5,000. The rest is just giving back what they took in the first place. Look, I'm not saying new construction is a bad deal. I sell new construction every single day and I love it. But I refuse to let my clients walk into a contract not understanding what they're actually getting. So before that number dazzles you, get someone to run a real comparison, because $10,000 sounds a lot better than it actually is versus resale. That's part one. Part two coming up is a fee that oftentimes doesn't get disclosed before closing, so don't miss it. You did your homework. You know exactly what the HOA fee is and you've got it budgeted. You are ready. What you probably don't know is there might be another check due at closing that has nothing to do with the monthly fee. And so nobody's going to bring it up unless you ask. It's typically called a capital contribution and it's due the day you close. Here's what it is. When you buy into a community, the HOA has reserves money set aside for future repairs, replacements, big ticket maintenance. The capital contribution is your one-time buy-in to fund those reserves. It's not your first month's dues. It's not a deposit, and it doesn't come back to you. It's just gone. And the amount varies widely by community. Here in St. Johns County, I've seen these range from a few $100 to several $1,000s. Now, is it an unreasonable fee? Not really, but that's not the point. The point is that most buyers see it on their closing disclosure and have no idea what it is, and they just pay it, and they don't even know to ask the question. They find out what it was, if they ever find out, long after they've signed everything. And that's not how it should work. So when you're shopping communities, ask 2 questions. Ask, what's the monthly HOA? And then also ask, what's the capital contribution at closing? Get both answers up front and budget for them both. That's part 2. In part 3, we're going to go deeper on CDD fees, and I'm going to bust a myth that costs buyers real money. Don't skip it. If you're buying new construction in St. Johns County, there's a great chance that your home is in a community development district. That's a CDD. And if you've done any research at all, you've probably heard someone say that you can just pay off the CDD. And that's true. And it's also a little misleading. Let me explain. A CDD fee is actually two separate charges that show up together on your tax bill every year. The first part is the bond. When the developer built your community, the roads, the amenities, the infrastructure, they financed it with municipal bonds. Your CDD bond assessment is your share of paying that back. It typically runs 20 to 30 years, and yes, you can pay it off early in a lump sum if you want to eliminate that portion. The second part is the operations and maintenance, or O&M. That covers the ongoing cost of running the district, landscaping management, utilities in the common areas, insurance, the lights staying on at the front entrance, the pool staying clean. But here's what nobody tells you. The O&M never goes away. Pay off the bond completely, great. You've eliminated one piece, but that O&M assessment, that follows the property forever. There's no paying it off. It's just a part of owning a home in a CDD community. And here's the other thing, that O&M number isn't fixed. The district's costs go up, and they will. The board can increase assessment to cover the budget. So what you're paying today isn't necessarily what you'll be paying in 5 years. So if someone tells you just pay off the CDD, now you know what that actually might mean. And more importantly, you know what they left out. So that's part 3. And part 4, your builder has an inspector, and that inspector is not on your side. When you're buying new construction, your builder is going to have the home inspected. They're going to tell you that everything checked out, and they're going to hand you the keys with a smile. But what they're not going to tell you is that the inspector works for them, not for you. Here's what I recommend to every single one of my new construction clients. Get your own independent inspector and use them more than once. I recommend 3 to 4 inspections throughout the build, and here's why each one matters. The pre-pour happens before the concrete slab goes down. This is your shot to catch issues with the plumbing and the electrical rough-in before it's buried forever. The pre-drywall inspection is the biggest one. Once those walls close up, you lose visibility into everything behind them, the framing, the insulation, the wiring, the plumbing. And here's the thing, if something needs to be fixed, at this stage, it's fast and it's cheap. Wait until the drywall is up, and the same fix means tearing the walls open. This is your last chance to see inside your home before it's finished. Do not skip it. The pre-closing inspection is your standard walkthrough, making sure everything is complete, functional, and done right before you sign. And then, most people forget this one, it's the 11-month inspection. Your builder's warranty is typically covered you for the first year. And at month 11, you bring an inspector back in, document everything that needs to be addressed, and submit it before the warranty expires. After 12 months, a lot of that coverage is gone. Each inspection runs roughly $300 to $500. So that's $1,200, $1,500 for the purchase this size. It's the best money you're going to spend. Your builder has an inspector, and now so do you. That's part 4. Part 5 are 2 things your builder almost certainly did not install and why it's a problem here in Florida. Do you know Florida gets more rain than Seattle? More than almost anywhere in the country. So let me ask you something. Why did your builder skip the gutters? Most production builders here in Florida don't include gutters as standard, and I get it, it keeps costs down. It's not required by code, but here's what happens without them. Every time it rains, and it rains a lot, water pours straight off your roof and runs along your slab, your siding, your foundation, and over time that causes erosion, moisture intrusion, and damage that's expensive to fix. This isn't a cosmetic issue, it's a structural one. Budget to have gutters installed after closing. It's not glamorous, but it's necessary. The second thing your builder almost certainly didn't install is a water softener. If you're new to this area, let me introduce you to Jacksonville water. It's hard, really hard, and hard water destroys things quietly over time. Your appliances, your water heater, your pipes, your fixtures, you'll notice it on your dishes, your skin, and your hair. Water softener isn't a luxury upgrade. In this area, it's maintenance. Budget for it before you move in, not after you've watched your just dishwasher struggle for 6 months. Two things your builder left off the list, two things you need. Neither one's going to come up in your walkthrough unless you bring them up yourself. Now you know to bring them up when you're at the structural options, when you're first looking to sign a contract. Maybe you can work something in there, but typically most people are buying them afterwards. In any case, that's part 5. Part 6, the maintenance schedule your builder never handed you at closing. There's a feeling that comes with buying new construction that I completely understand. Everything is brand new, nothing is broken, nothing needs fixing. You just move in and enjoy. That feeling will cost you if you're not careful, though. New construction still requires maintenance, and it doesn't just feel like it should. And that's exactly why people skip it. Here's what nobody hands you at closing. Your water heater needs to be flushed annually to clear out sediment buildup, especially with hard water. Skip it for a few years, and you're shortening the life of an appliance that costs $1,000, $2,000 to replace. If you followed part 5 and you got yourself a water softener, good. Now add service appointments to your calendar. New construction homes typically need the first flush for the water heater within 6 months. After that, annually. It's not expensive, it's just easy to forget. Your HVAC filters need to be changed every 30 to 60 days in Florida. This system runs almost year round, but filters are just the start. You need your condensate line to be flushed regularly too. When it clogs, and it will clog if you don't take care of it, it triggers a safety shutoff and your AC stops working. In a Florida summer, that's not just an inconvenience. That could be an emergency. It's a simple fix if you know what you're looking for, but most people have no idea what just happened or why their system stopped. A maintenance plan catches this before it becomes a problem. Pest control. Budget for at least a quarterly service plan. Florida is not the kind of place where you skip this. And make sure you have a termite bond. Most of the builders have these already, but keep it. In Florida, termites are not a question of if, they're a question of when. A termite bond gives you regular inspections and treatment coverage. Budget for it from day one. None of these are really big ticket items on their own, but ignored over time, every single one of them can turn into something that is huge. So that's part 6. Part 7, the bill that hits first-time buyers before they've even unpacked. Congratulations. You just bought a brand new home. Now, buy a lawnmower, a trimmer, an edger, a hose, a ladder, a toolbox, and about 15 other things you never knew you needed as a renter. Yes, this catches all first-time homeowners, not just new construction, but this is something that catches new home buyers just about every single time. And honestly, it makes complete sense. When you're renting, maintenance isn't your problem. Something breaks, you call the landlord. The lawn gets handled. You don't own any of the equipment because you never needed it. Then you close on a new construction home, and suddenly you're responsible for all of it. Let's just talk about the lawn. In St. Johns County, looking at a real yard that needs real maintenance. A decent mower, a trimmer, an edger, a blower. You're already at $500 to $1,000 before you've touched anything else. This is not a low maintenance situation. You add a hose, probably 2, some basic outdoor equipment, a ladder, because you're gonna need one. Basic tools if you don't have them. A pressure washer is optional until you see what Florida humidity does to your driveway and siding and fence. And then it's not as optional anymore. Before you know it, you're looking at $1,500 to $3,000 in equipment just to maintain the home you just bought. Now, this isn't a reason not to buy. It's just a number that needs to be in your budget before closing, not discovered on the first Saturday that you own the place. So that was part 7. Part 8, your mortgage payment might be going up and interest rates have nothing to do with it. Your mortgage payment's gonna go up. And not because of interest rates, because of something that happens to a lot of new construction buyers here in Florida. And oftentimes people don't warn you about it. Here's how it works. In Florida, property taxes are paid in arrears. That means the taxes you pay this year are actually for last year. So when your home is being built, the county still has that lot assessed as property that's vacant land. it's worth a fraction of what a finished home is worth. If your mortgage company uses that low tax number to set up your escrow account, and many do, you've got a problem coming. Then you close, you move in, life is good, and a few months later, the county reassesses the property. Now it's got a house on it, and the tax bill jumps significantly. Your mortgage servicer does an annual escrow analysis, sees the shortfall, and they send you a letter. Guess what? Your payment's going up. Sometimes it's $100 a month, sometimes it's $300 or $400 a month. Either way, it's a number you weren't planning for. Now, is this a flaw in the system? Yeah, it can be, but I'll go further than that. Your lender, if your lender is setting up escrow based on vacant land taxes, and they're not telling you to set money aside on your own for the full assessment when that hits, that's neglect. You're buying a home, not a lot. They knew what was coming, and informing you is the least they can do. And if they won't, your agent should. Ask your lender how they're calculating your initial escrow and ask them for a full tax assessment on a completed home. Get ahead of it before it gets ahead of you. That's part 8. Part 9, that builder incentive to use their lender, it might not be the deal you think it is. Your builder wants you to use their lender, and they're going to make it very attractive. Closing cost credits, rate buy downs, upgrade incentives, sometimes totaling $10,000 or significantly more. And it feels like a no-brainer, and sometimes it is. But here's what to do before you say yes. Get at least one outside quote. Builder preferred lenders are convenient for the builder. They keep everything in-house. The transaction moves smoothly. And let's be honest, there's a financial relationship between the builder and that lender. That doesn't make them predatory, but it does mean their incentive to give you the absolute best rate is not the same as a lender competing for your business. Even a small difference in interest rate adds up fast on a 30-year mortgage. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. A $10,000 incentive can disappear quickly when you're paying a significantly higher rate for 3 decades. Here's the thing. Sometimes the builder's lender is actually really competitive, and sometimes the incentive genuinely tips the scales in their favor. But I've seen it go both ways. You never know unless you compare. Get a loan estimate from an independent lender, bring it side by side with what the builder is offering, look at the rate, the APR, and the total cost of the loan, not just the upfront incentive number. Then make the decision with all the information in front of you. The builder's not going to tell you to do this, but I am. That's part 9 and part 10, the last of these hidden costs. They're going to sneak up on you before you even move in. You've just closed on your brand new beautiful home. You pull up the house, walk through the front door and look around. No blinds, no curtains, no privacy, just a lot of glass and the neighbors walking by. Good luck getting from the shower to the closet past those front windows. Most builders don't include window treatments. If you're around here, do, but don't count on it. And in a new construction home with large windows and open sight lines covering them is not optional. It's immediate, and writing the check before you've even finished unpacking. For an average size home, budget anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to cover your windows properly. More if you go custom. It's one of those costs that feels outrageous until you realize how many windows you actually have. And then there's fencing. Most new construction lots come with no fence. If you have kids, pets, or simply value your backyard being your backyard, you're paying for that separately. Depending on your lot size, that's another $2,000, $5,000, $8,000 or more. Landscaping is another one. Builders put down sod and a few basic shrubs, but if you want actual nice trees and privacy hedges and flower beds or anything that looks intentional, that's your budget. And if you want a screen enclosure around your lanai, very common here in Florida, that's almost never included. Budget accordingly. None of these are surprises that should stop you from buying, but they are costs that should be in your plan before you close, not bills that show up in the first 30 days of home ownership and catch you off guard. That's part 10. And if any of these have made you realize you need someone in your corner before you sign anything, reach out. That's exactly what I'm here for. So let's add all of this up. The closing cost shell game, capital contribution, CDD fees that never fully go away, multiple inspections, gutters and a water softener your builder didn't install, ongoing maintenance that your warranty doesn't cover, tools and equipment you never needed as a renter, a mortgage payment that very well could go up, a builder lender deal that might not be what it seems, and a house full of windows with no blinds on day one. None of these are reasons not to buy new construction. I love new construction. I sell it every day, but I also believe that you deserve to walk into that contract with your eyes wide open and not find out about things at the closing table or in your first year of ownership. That's what a strong agent does. They will tell you the stuff that no one else will. If you are thinking about buying new construction here in Jacksonville, St. Johns County, or Northeast Florida, reach out. Let's talk.